Good day, everyone. I'm Dr. Vishnu Durga from Action Coach Guyana and the Who's Who in Guyana Business. And we're continuing our series of interviews with innovative businesses in Guyana that are looking for ways to safeguard themselves and the people that they serve. And I'm going to be talking right now to Mr. Bonnie Singh, who is the CEO of the Hardware Depot. Bonnie, good afternoon. How are you?
Hey, good afternoon, Vishnu. I'm fine today. I would like to thank you for taking this opportunity for me to spend some time with the viewers out there and the listeners out there, for them to be a little more educated on what we are doing at the Hardware Depot.
So that would bring me immediately into my second question. What exactly does the hardware depot do? Is that a depot where people drop off hardware? Or tell me a little bit more.
Oh, excellent question. So let me give you a little history about the Hardware Depot. The Hardware Depot was founded by me with just a little kid. My dad took me to the United States for the first time, and I'm amazed of walking around Home Depot. And you know, when you go into Home Depot, you see this extensive amount of products. And I was very much astonished in there. Many days I go and I spend days upon days in there looking around. And I, lived in the States for a few. So I came back to Guyana to live. And that's where the Hardware Depot started. And that's where my idea grew. And I decided to start the Hardware Depot, showing the different products that we deal with. So it grew from there. And I used to go to Granger International, a company that deals with 1.5 million SKU items, which we currently represent in Guyana. We mostly deal with PPE, personal protective equipment, and footwear, anything to do with safety footwear and your industrial needs. So I carve out the Hardware Depot to be a little more, not your regular hardware store, but your industrial hardware store, where all the companies in Guyana would need their industrial supplies, such as Gaisuco, Guyana Water Inc., GPL, the oil field industry, the oil and gas industry. So that's a little bit more about the Hardware Depot. What we do, and I can tell you, as you're showing there our certification, we are ISO certified. We are a Dun& and Bradstreet company. We're a GCCI.
Very good. And you have quite a range of products, as you mentioned, the various products as well that you guys would be functioning. So the website is, I think, very simply hardwaredepotgy.com.
Yep.
A very good social media presence as well. And of course, I believe you are on page 59 of the Who's Who in Guyana Business. So if anyone who hasn't received the hard copy as yet, would be good for persons to also be able to get some info about you and the company there. Now, what are you doing at this particular point in time to make sure that you, if you are operating, tell us a bit how you are operating right now, and how are you making sure that your team and and those you serve are being in a very safe environment?
So the Hardware Depot is basically built on safety. And the safety that we're built on is taking care of our employees and our customers all at one time. So what we do, we interchange the employees. We give 3 to work 3 days a week, and the other rest to work the other days of the week. So we share it.
Very good, very good. And you were mentioning to me as well that you guys have actually started to look at, as you continue, don't forget to let viewers as well understand how you're even testing at the moment.
Okay, so outside of that, employees would come to work. They have to be always masked up, take all precautions, fully sanitize. The entire works in terms of health and safety in working in a COVID period at this time. However, we at the Hardware Depot has took it to the next level, where we have got our COVID test, and this is mine, which clearly showed that I am negative COVID-19. So we at the Hardware Depot, each and every person at work around us and management is fully tested. We've done this test the last 2 days to make sure our employees are tested so we can share a common environment that is safe.
Very good, very good. So that's probably one of the first companies that I'm seeing that is doing that for themselves and their employees. Very good to know. We just actually also had an interview with Mercy Hospital, and they're looking at what they can do to put in place as well to provide some private healthcare to people who may be affected. So it's good that we are thinking forward. I would like to ask you though, what's some advice that you would have for the business community?
Well, some advice I'd like to offer to the business community, my fellow business associates, is we got to go out there to get these test kits. And I am actually currently pursuing 2,000 of them from Abbott Laboratories, which we were supposed to get in the country about a week ago, but unfortunately, the allocation for us did not come in our direction. We're kept in the United States. So in another 3 weeks, we should be getting the allocation. And in that case, when I get the allocation, if I can share it with my fellow business community, it would be nice to know that we can have it. But I first got to go through all these red tapes to make sure we get the right product in the country. I'm doing a due diligence right now on the product, making sure. Well, Abbott is worldwide known, as you know, from Abbott Laboratories. We're dealing directly with the distributor on this. And we're going to get all the CE standards or the CDC recommendation for this, or even the WHO passes on this. The FDA pass on the product. So that's the only way we will bring it in.
All right. So that is very good to hear. I mean, that people then have the option of as well if they wanted to self-test. Any other advice to your fellow Guyanese at this time? What should they be using this time for? What are you also using this time for?
Well, since I have the staff at work, I just want to send a message out here that I believe that our fellow businessmen should take the opportunity to self-test the business value that they have. Check yourself as a person to see where you're at and how fortunate you are to have a business. Where I think the numbers in the United States went up to, I think it's 50,000, just found out that lost their lives, which are not fortunate as we in Guyana. So I would raise my hats off to we in Guyana that has that opportunity. I'd like to convey the message of saying to them that take time off to self-check yourself. Self-check yourself in the things that you do, the relationship you have with your employees, the relationship you have with your family, and also the relationship that you have with yourself. Key ingredient. I did a video earlier on where I said we should pass on the famous word thank you to each other. Why thank you? Thank you is because we find a way in giving gratitude to our family and friends, our neighbors, to show that we are grateful for the life that we got, not for the money that we have, but our personal responsibility to ourselves as humans. So if we can get that message out to our fellow Guyanese, I think we would find very interesting. We'd find it very interesting to know that it's important in the word saying thank you.
Very powerful. And, one of the questions that I usually have on my mind, because as business owners, we're dealing with many differing conditions. We have our record-breaking elections on one side. We now have to deal with the type of virus that takes place, every 100 years. And that is, also coupled with the fact that maybe the oil and gas income that we were expecting is not looking like it's going to happen as fast as we would have hoped. At times like this, what motivates you? What inspires you to keep going strongly?
That's a very excellent question you asked me there, um, Vishnu. I think the first thing comes to mind in every man's mind is his family. And if you put your family first when you look in the morning, when you awake and you thank God for waking up, and you see your wife next to you and you look over in the bedroom and you know your kids are there and they have this life that you as a father or a parent is responsible for,
Bonnie's video
really
drops.
move forward. That drives my energy, and I would give everybody this courage. I'll give everybody this courage to say that, you should follow that pattern where you can, look at the family. If you don't have one, imagine one and see where you go from there, because that's what drives my purpose in life. My family, my passion is my family. My purpose in life is to be a very good citizen, as well as what I like for myself, I'd like to pass on to the other fellow human beings. So from that, taking that on, it's courage really gives me that energy to move forward. The family,
Thank you.
most important. And then my employees, which is my next family, which come to work. When they come, I see them. Let me give you an example. I've chose to tell my employees I will not send home none of them
Mm.
around this time.
Mm.
But however, we will lower the salary a little bit to share it with everybody. And every 2 weeks, I try to prepare a hamper or something where I can help them out with things like food stuff and other, things that they need for the house, cleaning stuff
Mm.
and things like that.
Yeah, very powerful, very powerful. So I do hope that people hearing this as well can take some guidance from what you are putting in place, and also the advice that you would have shared. Bonnie, thank you for taking the time out to talk to me today. Is there anything final you wanted to share?
Well, first, I'd like to this extraordinary interview
Mm.
that you have put forward here and giving me the opportunity to come live to reach
Mm.
all our viewership. And I would like to leave our viewership with something that is very powerful. Within each and every one of us, there's a sense of love
Mm.
and gratitude, but we never take the time off to share it.
Mm.
And we should take the time off to tell each other thank you, or even have the energy to remember how fortunate we are in the world today.
Mm.
And I spread this message because I would like us, sometimes we wake up and we think every day is monotonous. You know, we keep doing
Mm.
one thing over and over, but we're not grateful for the day.
Mm.
So with this COVID, I think it put me to reflect, and I would like to share a strong and powerful comment of reflection within our business community, our fellow Guyanese, to stand up to what is going on. I know it's no easy pressure on parents, fathers, mothers, families out there. Especially, we have a two-pronged situation in Guyana.
Yeah.
Elections and COVID. Um, I will say to you guys, just say that little prayers in your mind. Thank you for your existence, and that will give you a far way to go in your everyday. And when it's something you can't handle with your own conscience, all you need to do is just say, thank you, Lord, for my existence. And this will give you a clear picture of how grateful you are. And don't care how bad you think your situation is in, you got a lot better to go if you just make up your mind. So,
Mm.
conditioning your mind is very important. So, the biggest rule of thumb here, if you can condition your mind, you could climb over every hurdle that life has to offer.
Thank you. Thank you very much for those wise words. And Bonnie, I look forward to talking to you again soon. Have a fantastic day and a great weekend. Take care.
I don't think I don't think I hearing you there. We lost audio.
All right. So I'll talk to you again soon.